Oh,
You can't see it. You only know it's there if you like run your hand across my head, and you're like, oh, that doesn't feel even.
Okay, so this is another crime game. The Master
a
Plan.
shark punch game.
It's nothing major, chat. It's just from an accident I was in when I was a small child.
Oh, like a car accident?
Probably. It's kind of a mystery because I don't know the full context of it. All I know is that when I was a kid, I got into an accident, and now I have like this like permanent scar.
There was just you with a
can't
deck in your head, a
actually
bunch of corpses on the ground around you.
Probably. It was like that movie. Maybe it was like the movie Scanners, where just I looked at someone too hard and their head exploded.
The dent in your own head was actually from the blast ripple.
Yeah, I was like maybe like 3 or 4 when I got it.
Oh, wow.
So, but I have no memory of it at all. So,
Huh. I've got a dent in the top of my head because when I was an infant, my mother fell asleep with her chin resting on my head. And she loved telling that story about how there's a dent in my head now.
I mean,
And then she told the story about dropping me on my head once or twice. And now I have crippling neurological issues in adulthood, so I wonder if that's related.
see when I had my young child here, I was constantly practicing my tombstone pile driver.
My mother has a dent in her head, and she used to do just bar tricks of just like using it as a drink holder.
Okay, well, these head dents have continued to escalate. What's this video game? I wasn't paying attention to it.
This is the Master Plan, and all I know about it so far is like we're really sticking to Nixon with his intro.
I want to photograph someone with a Polaroid and write "erg" on the bottom. Like that's my opinion of the photo.
Yep.
That's how cavemen used to
the cops
label their
banged
Kodak
you.
moments.
Okay. I actually didn't finish reading that.
He awakes as a guest of the state. Oh, they mean in jail. They didn't. I thought they meant that literally at first, and he woke up and he's like at a charity ball or something.
Okay.
Lots of view cones in the M's.
Yep. Hello, officer. I noticed I can deselect my character really easily, so I'm gonna have more than one.
I like how he writes, I know, like you would have whined about the plastic gun later.
Okay, that slow-mo by hitting space thing is kind of blocking some important text, but...
Oh, yeah! What was that surprisingly decent-looking prison game?
The Escapists, I think it was?
Arrival in Hell.
I haven't heard of that one.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, the YouTube classic.
I gotta equip the gun.
Oh.
It's like some shitty Flash game from a decade ago. It's like, oh, demons invade a prison in Australia, and it's like, you're like the one prisoner who's left and has to escape.
Oh, this is interesting, actually. And now since I'm holding him hostage, I can give him orders.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
With my squirt gun here.
I think if it were me, I'd just duck out of the door frame. I could probably do that before someone reacted.
I just leave and then come back with an actual gun.
Mm-hmm.
And like, all right, here we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the hard way. And probably some backup because you can't shoot both of us at once, there, can you, buddy?
Oh no. Yeah, did you think I just like? Hey. You go back in there.
He says, "Oh my God, he still has the gun."
Alright, you go back in your cell. I left you an issue of Grizzly magazine to help pass the time.
Surely there's a way to relock that door.
Oh. Okay, let me try that again. Let me skip that long intro. Wow. Okay.
Wow, they don't care about security guy.
Okay, so the cops banged me and I survived. Okay, quit that.
I like how you're in prison for a violent crime, and then all of a sudden this big novelty cake shows up, and they just deliver it to your cell. Like, oh, this big novelty cake arrived for you.
Hey, prisoners have rights, and that includes the right to a ostentatious birthday party.
Can I like make
Actually, in the escapist game we were playing, we were commenting how the prison was a lot nicer than places we've lived. At least in the video game, which was probably somewhat optimistic. In the realm of the possible. You should kill this guy. He can't even grant wishes.
Well, my gun is fake, is the thing.
Oh.
Okay, you go over here. That's as far as I can get you. Now, can I close this door and I have to actually close?
Oh, I see he's got like a threateningness timer.
Okay, be scared again. I'm just gonna slowly back out of here.
Can you lock the door?
Nope. Well, he has the key still, and I can't figure out how to make him drop it.
Oh, maybe the trick is actually to make him walk out in the room with you so you can keep an eye on him.
I considered that. Okay, there we go. Slightly clunky interface, not gonna lie.
I do kind of appreciate how this is one of the better hostage mechanics that just doesn't put them in like an insta-docile state.
Yeah. And you also like directly direct them, which is kind of neat. Can I not go into this alley for some reason? Guess not.
I imagine you saying to Gregory, "I heisted a vehicle," and him being like, "I wish you'd stop calling it that."
No kiss. Okay. This is the Forbidden Alley, I guess.
Kind of a stealth game by way of Frozen Synapse thing.
Oh. Oh. I don't think he
That seemed unnecessary.
Yeah, he just got some cash. And... Oh. Well, yeah, I do have that, but... actually like, man, Greg, you like you really escalated this. I was just trying to ask him to open the door for us, but I had you selected, so this happened.
Well, he barely got to open the door before you punched him in the back multiple times. Oh, and then he locks it.
Perfect height, except for accidentally beating someone half to death. Well, he was just unconscious, at least. That's okay.
Perfect heist. Nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong at all.
Okay, so you actually do like.
Wait, get your own back on the state that turned its back. I know what they meant, but I don't think those were the words that they should use. Get your back on the state that turned it. What is that? Is that an expression?
I think that's. I don't know what that was exactly. This does seem like ambitious, though.
Yeah.
Like the interface feels a little cumbersome to me, but also we've become one over here. I think the trick is never actually select your whole group unless you're like really just trying to run away.
When I played original Rainbow Six, that was something I didn't like, was how it had the cool like tactical system, but you couldn't trust the AI to not like cock it up constantly, so you just like take a single group of people and just counter-strike your way through the whole thing.
Yep.
And then they'd be like, I can't leave without my buddy Superfly, and you'd have to like escort the others through the map.
I can't leave without my buddy Superfly.
Okay, so let's try next.
I tried playing Daikatana years after. I was like, oh, I couldn't honestly be that bad, but it was like it was the worst kind of bad in that it was like just a slog. I was expecting like funny bad.
You should
there was the GBA,
you should get the
Game Boy
yeah, there's
Color
like a-
actually tie-in RPG that never came out. It was actually very good.
Yeah,
Oh.
there was the Game Boy Color one, yeah. But developed by forget who developed it. Let me look it up real quick.
Game Boy Color.
Oh, Chemco. Yeah, it's like a Zelda clone.
Huh.
Okay, where's the restart button? Because I did not mean to pull my gun on that random guy at all.
But if you ever end up replaying the PC version, there is a fan patch that drastically improves the AI.
That is a bold shopkeeper. That's good to know. Does the fan patch like what killed it for me was like one of the very first levels just being like slogging through a sewer level with a bunch of bugs that were not fun to shoot.
That's why you gotta punch them. Punch the bugs and then shoot the crocodiles.
Oh, yes.
But you don't shoot the crocodiles in the water because the ion blaster can hurt you underwater. It's like the lightning gun from Quake.
Oh, right. You got this futuristic game called Big Sword, and I'm walking around punching a bunch of bugs.
Yeah, it makes a little more sense when you realize like that the plot of the game is based on a D&D campaign that John Romero ran that was heavily inspired by his love for Chrono Trigger.
Oh.
That's why it's like Japanese people. There's time traveling and then a big sword.
It's a shame too because like game based on John Romero D&D campaign based on Chrono Trigger sounds like the perfect game. So it's a shame it didn't turn out better.
Okay, so let's just
I am the Daikatana defender.
pretend to be shopping here. Oh, waiting for this guy
But
to
that's
leave.
just because I think John Romero is like great at what he does.
Oh yeah, one of my
Even-
favorite developers.
And like even his misses, I can look at like, oh yeah, there's something here.
Hey, that guy's
I
leaving
saw him
without
at like a
paying.
game dev talk, and he was like, he had his like long hair and his like painted black nails, and I was like, yeah.
Like I can only aspire for that level of just style. I mean, I got the long hair and the painted nails, but I'm not. I didn't work on Doom.
Yeah, that's the critical element I'm missing too, is the career. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
For sure. I mean, I also know who Nizir Gavelli is.
Oh, you got one up on me then.
No,
Yeah, Nizir Gavelli is
Okay.
the programmer that inspired John Romero to get into games.
he was also the guy who
Oh.
did like all the old Squaresoft games.
Yep, he did. Yeah, he used to do games for like the Apple Macintosh, and then he got hired by Squaresoft, and he worked on the first 3 Final Fantasy games and Secret of Mana.
Also, older
And then he
games,
retired after that.
like Rad Racer and 3D World Runner.
Yep.
And if you play any of those, there's a big thing on for like the title screen going "Programmed by Nasir," which is something I wish
He
that
got,
game
he got
still did.
credits. Yeah, he got like a really sweet deal because he was able to retire from like the money he made off Secret of Mana alone.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, the only reason he left games is because he made like so much money that he just didn't think he had to work anymore, and he didn't.
I'm actually not used to stories of developers making well-loved classics and then doing well for themselves.
Yeah, he's just like a Iranian American who's just like he just travels and does stuff now. He's been doing that for like 20 years.
Wow.
I guess he got like a really good like royalty contract or something because I know Final Fantasy was a big hit, you know, obviously, but I can't imagine it's that big of a hit, you know?
Mm.
Because it wasn't like he worked on like Final Fantasy 7. It was like 1 through 3.
Oh, you think he actually has like a royalty deal on like anything with the Final Fantasy name on it?
It might be. I don't know the details of it, but I mean, he clearly got a really good deal. And the weird thing is that he managed to work on all these games despite not understanding Japanese,
Oh, wow.
and nobody on the development team speaking either Iranian or English. But I guess programming code is the same language.
Mm.
It'd probably just be like commenting code that would be
Oh no.
different.
They'd
Okay,
probably have some difficult variable names. Or wait, they wouldn't even have variable names.
So I appreciate the concept of that game, but I hate the interface and how easy it is to just like start getting punched in the face because you click slightly wrong.
He punched you back out of the car.
Well, no, I actually got out of the car accidentally. Is what happened when I went to click drive because the buttons are right on top of each other.
I'm imagining that like playing out in 3D where you like were holding your gun up to the like prison guard and you were like, wait just a second, and you keep getting caught.